Hello YouTube, Brandon from Zoid Industries here with this week's episode of ZI Weekly News. This is this channel's weekly news segment where we cover science, sci-fi, gaming, channel updates, and more. With that out of the way, let us get to the articles. Tyrannosaurus Rex couldn't run, but it was a speedy walker. There's a video. I would play it right now so I could possibly download it, insert it maybe at the end of this or something. Before the outro clip that is supposed to have music. 50 years ago, if you'd asked the dinosaur experts, they would have told you that Tyrannosaurus was a speed freak, a giant predator that could outrun racehorses. The paleontologist would have pointed to its 3-meter hind limbs and leggy for even a big dinosaur, and described the creature as sprinting after prey at speeds of 40 miles per hour. But a better understanding of physics kneecapped the swift T-Rex concept. Scientists, rather than looking at the bones alone, began to gauge dinosaur locomotion via models of skeletons and muscles. Well, the picture that came into focus was a slower beast. T-Rex, although no less of a predator, was certainly less fleet of foot. A new report published Monday in the journal PRJ refined just how fast the dino could go. T-Rex wasn't much of a runner, the study authors say. In fact, it couldn't run at all. Instead, the animal speedwalked. Thanks to its wide stride, T-Rex would reach about 12 miles per hour at its quickest hustle. Most of us would have difficulty jogging to keep up, said paleontologist Philip L. Manning, director of Mace Brown Museum of Natural History at the College of Charleston, South Carolina. Not that you'd want a dinosaur with 8-inch long teeth. He has a walking buddy. Oh, this often would be great for these videos, because I honestly did not add that walking buddy part. Oh, that was great. Previous estimates of T-Rex's maximum pace ignored weight loads on the animal's bones. The new study took those into account, Manning said, and the result was a bit like putting a governor on an engine. And the scientists asked the small T-Rex to move as fast as it could outrun. The model indicated that T-Rex's bones would snap because its legs would buckle under its weight. Unable to break into a sprint, it must have stepped its way through the Cretaceous period. But that doesn't mean a 7-ton T-Rex at full bore walk was anything less than terrifying. Elephants also don't run, which is to say, they never have all 4 feet off the ground and have been reliably They clocked at about 10 miles per hour. That's fast enough to leave a lasting impression. The joy of an elephant charging you? Trust me, Manning said. It's not one of those trouser-filling moments. Not to mention something that would stink. And if you did experience it. John Hutchinson, an expert on evolutionary biomechanics at the University of London's Royal Veterinary College, who has also estimated T-Rex speeds, called the work a very sophisticated computer simulation. The max estimate of 12 miles per hour was in line with the low end of previous T-Rex models. Okay, that's cool. But like all computer simulations, this one came with certain assumptions baked in. Hutchinson noted the study authors assumed that the animal's muscles were optimized to be as strong as they could, figuring that bone strength was T-Rex's weak point. Hutchinson said he was uneasy about that assumption, noting that we don't understand the principles that govern speed limits in living animals. A very true fact. Sorry, a little puzzle experiment thing on the side of the page. It's interesting to say the least, and it's an advertisement, so yeah. They acknowledged that the model could be improved. It gave a conservative estimate and did not account for features such as elastic tendons, which could bump up the T-Rex's top speed. At this point, Hutchinson said such a consensus was built around T-Rex behavior that the dinosaur is quickly running out of questions for scientists to answer. The locomotion of other dinosaurs presents more interesting scenarios. In his view, he is investigating how the earliest dinosaurs moved, nude animals the size of house cats that would have had to scamper away from the giant land crocodiles or end up as lunch. Manning is also curious about other dinosaur species, particularly the bigger of the bunch. It's modeling a house walking across the plain, he said. It's quite exciting. Well, that concludes this article. On to the next. Bixby feels more like a return of the old Samsung than a path to the future. After months of delays, Bixby, Samsung's new voice-powered assistant, is finally rolling out to the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. The U.S. billed as one of the highlight features of the S8. Samsung sees Bixby as being the center of future device interactions, whether that device is your phone, TV, washing machine, or something else entirely. I, along with thousands of others, have been testing Bixby for weeks as part of Samsung's public preview program. And I have a very different view from Samsung. Instead of seeing Bixby as the future of how I interact with my phone, it feels more like a return of Samsung's old ways. Samsung's mobile strategies have changed dramatically over the years. When the Galaxy S line first launched, Samsung tried to force its customers to use its own apps and services instead of the ones that Google provided with Android. This resulted in devices that had many duplicate apps, multiple browsers, email apps, music players, messaging apps, and so on, that users couldn't remove. In addition, Samsung loaded its phones with gimmicky features such as weird ways to share images with other Samsung owners. That rarely got used or didn't work as well as they were advertised to. This practice reached its peak or nadir, depending on your perspective, with 2014's Galaxy S5, which many would point to as Samsung's worst Galaxy S device. 2016's Galaxy S6 brought a new design and new approach. Samsung actually started removing features from its phone, simplifying its interface design, and letting Google's apps do much of the heavy lifting. Subsequent devices continued this trend, and though there are still a few duplicate apps on the S8, there are far fewer than what came loaded on Samsung phones just a few years ago. But now, one app you can't escape on the S8 is Bixby. Sure, you can choose not to use it, like I do with Siri on my phone over there. I don't use the voice service at all. That's something. I'm gonna cut here for a second. Be right back. But the S8 has a dedicated button on the side that can only be used to open Bixby. At some point, whether intentionally or by accident, you will open Bixby on the Galaxy S8 in a stroke of infinite genius. Samsung has actually turned its software bloat into physical hardware bloat. This wouldn't be a problem if Bixby was actually good, but useful, or at least different from what Google already provides with Android. Like the Bixby home screen, which appears when you press the button, is yet another riff on the Google Now concept that we've seen manufacturers try for years. I found Bixby's reminders to be no more useful than Google Assistants, and in some cases, like when I asked Bixby to remind me about something when I arrived at a specific location, and it just didn't work. Bixby Vision, which is integrated into the camera app, is basically another take on Google goggles, which Google itself will be integrating into the Google Assistant at some point. It too has had limited utility in my experience. There just aren't that many times when I need to take an image of something and to search for it. I attempted to use it to identify a specific light bulb the other day, and it failed miserably. Oh god. Without even recognizing that I was holding a light bulb. Oh. And then there's Bixby's Bixby voice, which is the heart of the Bixby experience. Samsung touts Bixby voice as a way to interact with your phone more than a virtual assistant. But in reality, the line between the two is far blurrier than the company describes. You can ask Bixby voice for weather information, facts, upcoming appointments, and so on. You know, all of the stuff that you can also ask the Google Assistant to do. Bixby's big difference, as Samsung would like you to believe, is that you can also ask Bixby to open apps and perform actions on your device. Nice, you can ask Bixby to open the settings app and turn up your screen's brightness, or ask it to send the picture you're looking at in the gallery app to your significant other, or through a text message. Ideally, it will do these things automatically, without requiring you to manually switch apps or type in a contact info. Using Bixby voice is not any faster or easier than doing things the traditional way. But in practice, using Bixby voice to do things on your phone is not any faster or easier than just tapping the touchscreen in the old-fashioned way. It takes so long for Bixby voice to launch on whether I press and hold Bixby button to activate listening mode, or use the Hi Bixby wake command, and hear what I am saying, that I could have performed the task 3 times by the time it has processed what I said and performed my action. Further, there are many times when I ask Bixby to do something and it either doesn't understand me or just doesn't do what I expect it to. Just this morning, I asked Bixby to take a screenshot and share it to Twitter. It got the screenshot part right, but then it attempted to share the image in a private DM conversation instead of a public tweet. I had to start the process all over again in order to do what I could have done manually the first time. Basically, after weeks of using Bixby voice, I still can't trust that it will do what I want it to. That means I won't use it and will continue to use my phone the same way I always have. Trust will be even more important when Samsung brings Bixby to other appliances. The last thing I need is to ask my washing machine to wash delicates and have it set itself to high spin and hot water modes. That would be bad. Oh look! A video. Watch later so I can link you guys to it. It's disappointing to see Samsung revert to old habits, especially when there are so many other things to like about the S8. The company could make this easier on its customers by allowing them to uninstall Bixby or reprogram the button to do more other functions, like, say, launch the far faster and more capable Google Assistant. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. And Samsung actually effectively blocks workarounds that are developed to make the Bixby button do something else. I can't help but feel like Bixby is just another riff on S-Voice, Samsung's first voice-controlled digital assistant. And it may have a few more tricks up its sleeve, but it's just as slow, buggy, and useless as S-Voice, which means it will be used just as infrequently. If Samsung is as committed to Bixby as it claims, it will continue to improve it and make it better. But even if it does, that will probably be too late. As studies have shown that people all tend to stop using voice assistants when they don't do what they want. Guilty. Siri, I don't use her. Yes, she is helpful, but she's not as helpful as she could be. In the case of Bixby, it appears that some things are better never than late. And that concludes this article. On to the next. New report claims iPhone 8 will cost $1,100 and will launch sooner than we thought. Amidst a slew of conflicting reports surrounding the forthcoming iPhone 8, a new research note from J.P. Morgan analyst Rod Hall relays that Apple's next-gen iPhone will hit store shelves in September. Sweet. Even though I won't be able to get it. Albeit in limited quantities. If accurate, this is somewhat promising news given that a handful of other analysts believe that the iPhone 8 may not see the light of day until October. Still a good release time. That's right around the holidays when people start their Christmas shopping. Importantly, we do not believe that Apple's production schedule is still changing materially, with most current delay reports simply dated reverberations of decisions Apple made back in the spring. Hall said in a note obtained by CNBC, we expect a small amount of late September EMS as electronics manufacturing service output for the Pro model, and then ramping production through October with target output levels achieved in late October, early November. Again, right around the holidays. Yes. Given a relatively small supply at launch, Hall anticipates that Apple will sell 42.2 million iPhone units during the upcoming September quarter, a slight decline from the 45.4 million units Apple sold during the September quarter last year. Once Apple gets a handle on supply, Hall, like many other analysts, believes that iPhone sales will experience a discernible spike and that Apple will see iPhone sales grow throughout 2018. Incidentally, this isn't the first report we've seen this week regarding a slow iPhone 8 rollout. Taking a similar position, analysis from Bluefin Research Partners recently issued a note to investors claiming that Apple's available supply of iPhone 8 units for the September quarter will be limited to just 5 million units. That's still pretty good. And as far as price is concerned, Paul is expecting Apple's entry-level iPhone 8 model with 128 gigabytes of storage to start at $1,100. The next model up will likely house 256 gigabytes of storage and will, if history is any indication, retail for $1,200. As point of reference, the entry-level iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus models cost $649 and $769 respectively. Without question, iPhone 8 will be the most expensive iPhone model we've ever seen, largely due to the increased cost of components the device will feature, such as zero LED display and advanced 3D camera sensors in the back. And that concludes this article. On to the next. Now for a bit of a channel update. Currently on the channel, I'm still working towards doing more of the how-tos for Tuesdays. Replacing the shout-out series for Sundays. Getting everything set up for more Let's Play episodes, and all that stuff, and resuming the History of Planet Z series. He's at the time of this video, possibly tomorrow. So, last time I had problems getting this episode out and everything. Oh, yeah. Basically, I couldn't get this getting this series out last week. I couldn't because there were internet issues. News here, so yeah. Also, going to be linked down in the description is a poll I'm running over on Straw Poll, to see what we'll be replacing the shout-out series until I get more subscribers in order to give them shout-outs. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. See you on the battlefield.